What's up guys, Preston here with Your Guy Drainage, and in this video, I'm gonna be talking about how I price my drain cleaning services. I'm gonna kind of break down what I do and how I price jobs on the service side, as well as the project side. And just to give you some context, last year we did 1.1 million in revenue, and our business operated on about a 25% profit margin. So that's the net profit coming back to the business. And then obviously my salary on top of that, right? So I pay myself a salary out of the business, and then the business itself did 25% profit margins. So the way that I'm gonna teach you is not, I'm not saying this is how you have to do it. This is what I have done, and it's got us to the point where we are right now. So it's worked for me. I'm not saying it's gonna work for you. I'm just gonna explain what I do. So with drain cleaning, obviously pricing your services is probably one of the most important things you can do, because it's going to determine whether you're even profitable or not. You know, a lot of guys charge what they think feels right, but charging what feels right doesn't mean you are going to make money. You know, some people go to customers' homes and they're like, oh, that other guy's ripping you off. He's charging you $800 for this sewer backup. I'll do it for 400, right? And they do it because they feel bad charging somebody a lot of money. Yada, yada, yada. They feel like they're doing the customer, they're benefiting the customer because they're the cheaper guy. But the reality is you have a business, you have employees to pay, you have trucks payments, you have insurance payments, you have marketing costs, you have equipment costs, you have equipment breakdowns, you have all these costs. So you have to charge what is necessary to make a profit. So let's break it down. So for us and what I do on service calls, so going to service calls, I charge what I like to think, I charge based on margin. So I charge what is required to reach an 80% margin or an 80% gross margin, which basically means if I go to a service call and I make $1,000, I want to be able to profit 800. And the reason I want to be able to profit 800 is because after that $800, I still have overhead. I still have insurance to pay. I still have marketing costs to pay. I still have tools to buy. I still have equipment breakdowns. I still have fuel to put in the truck. I still have all these costs, right? So if I go to a service call, what I'm trying to calculate is how much is my drive time going to be? How much is my drive time labor? How much am I paying an employee to drive out there, right? How much time on site am I spending, right? Am I spending 2 hours, 3 hours, etc.? And then what are my material costs? So you want to take all of that cost and the costs that it takes to provide that service, and you want it to be about 20% of the actual bill, right? And that's what gives you an 80% gross margin on service, right? Then from there, like I said, that 80%, now you have all your other overhead costs, which cut from that profit, and then you're left with your net profit, which is what we operated on, was a 25% net profit margin. So that's how I price service calls. Now for projects, it's very difficult to get an 80% margin. If you can get it, I would do it. But realistically, in my market, we shoot for a 60 to 65% gross margin on projects, right? So projects are gonna be excavation, trenchless, just larger projects where we're there for a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, whatever it is. And we charge for 60 to 65% gross margin. That means if I do a project for $10,000, I want to profit, gross margin profit, to be $6,500 or $6,000, right? And again, that's just calculating your labor, your material, your subcontractor costs, whatever your hard costs are for that project, right? So if the project's $10,000, all your labor, materials, subcontractor costs should be about, if you're charging $10,000, it should be about $4,500 if I'm doing the math right, or $3,500, whatever it is. I'm not good at math, that's why I'm a drain cleaner. But that's what you want your cost to be. And then you're left with 65% in profit, gross profit. And then out of that 65%, again, you still have all your marketing costs, your fuel, your insurance, your software costs, your processing fees, all that stuff comes off of that, right? And then you're left with the 25% profit margin at the end of the year. That's what I have done. So that's how I price service and projects, right? I'm not saying this is how you need to run your business. I'm saying this is what we have done, and we have stayed within that. And we follow this rule every time I go to a project. We do not break this rule. When I go estimate something, I don't break this rule because I think I'm charging the customer too much. I know that this is how my business operates, so therefore I need to hit a 60% gross margin or a 65% gross margin on this project. So I'm going to ask the customer for this amount of money no matter what. Because if I go lower, my profit margins start to dip, and I now have a business where I'm working for people for free. So stick to the rule, right? If you're gonna have a rule of how you're gonna price, stick to it, right? In business, it's not about, oh, I feel bad, or, oh, I could go lower, or I could reduce it, because at the end of the day, we're in business to make money, and you can't stay in business unless you make money. So that's what I have done. We've had pretty good success with that. Again, not saying that this is the best way to do it. This is just what I've done, and it seems to work for me, right? It creates enough profit where you can then cover the rest of your overhead, and then you're still left with your 25% profit margin or whatever at the end of the year, right? Now, there's other things that you have to do to keep your profit margin high, like you have to be efficient, you have to have good operations, you have to not overspend on equipment. Like, there's other operational things that you have to do to increase your profits, but for the most part, when it comes to pricing services, it's going to have the biggest impact on the bottom line and how much money you make. So if you guys have different pricing strategies that have worked well for you, I'd love to hear your comments, but that's what I do. I just wanted to share it with you, give you some insights on how we price our services, and it seems to be working for us. But I know there's other people on YouTube that give different strategies on how to price services. This is just what we do. It works for what we're doing, but that's it. So comment below, let me know what you think of this video if you liked it. Again, if you have any other suggestions for videos, let me know. And I do want to do more equipment reviews and stuff, show you guys some of the equipment I use and give you some demos. I've just been really busy with my business, and obviously my business is priority over this YouTube channel. So I only make videos when I have time and feel like it. So anyways, comment below, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys later.